They are smiling, they are scrolling, they are posting, but deep inside, the young people are sinking down in depression, from academic pressure to social media anxiety, from broken homes to body image issues. They are hurting. All is just a phase in life. Now stay tuned as we break down depression in the young people. Greetings and welcome to yet another episode of The Healthy You. This is your favorite health program on Faith Day Television. We bring you expert insights every week. Now my name is Enock Kitondekijja, your host. A special thanks goes to JCK Hospital. Now these are our distinguished sponsors. They make this program possible. Now if you need any medical attention, you need consultation, any emergency, do not get stuck anywhere. Reach out to them using that number on your screen. They're in Roysambu along Lumumba Drive, just opposite Park University. They're also in Mariaini and Juja Farm. That is JCK Hospital for you. Now today's topic is one that you cannot really miss. We are talking about depression in the young, and the argument is, are adults paying attention to the signs, or they are actually fueling the struggle? Now to help us unpack this discussion is a very extensive, well thought, well cut out team of panelists that you don't want to miss. We had an experience of them last show, and today we have yet again now dealing with the children, the young people and the teenagers. We have an expert in the building. Dr. Vincent is back. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Madame Veronica from JCK Hospital, and of course a Gen Z, if you would, Lisa right here. But before I invite them to now really give us the details of who they are, I am aware of those of you who are following us on social media. You are our greatest allies, and I want to ask you to partner with us today as we share this message all over the world. Remember to subscribe, like Faith Day Television, and if this conversation makes sense, please share. Let us save the next generation. They always say ladies first. I mean, gentlemen say ladies first. Is that okay? Whether I begin on my right, on my left today, it's counting. So we will begin with the lady on my immediate left to introduce herself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Enock, for this opportunity to be here today to speak about this very serious issue. I am honored to be part of this wonderful panel this morning. My name is Lisa Thuku. I am an aspiring published author. I am a virtual assistant, and I'm also a digital freelancer. And today I am here to provide my insight on human reality through my lived experiences, through generational insights and cultural context. And I'm honored to be here today.
And thank you so much. And of course, you can tell that we are really prepared for this, and we have the right person. So for all the young people, you don't have to change the dial. Please share this link with as many people as you can so that we get now the reality. Now, on my immediate right, we have a special lady, a mother, and a medic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Enock. I'm honored to be here. I am still Veronica, and today I feel great to discuss about depression in young adults and teenagers. Thank you.
You are welcome once again. She's from JCK Hospital, and of course, Dr. himself, kindly.
Right. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Enock. It's humbled to be here and to be hosted once again. I can say that depression is a serious issue, and I think at some point in my life I've also kind of experienced it. Maybe because of circumstances, situations, and maybe other situations that were within my context. That well said and done. My name is Vincent Mokaya. I'm a clinical psychologist from Lifebridge Hospital. It's an honor to be here. And at Lifebridge Hospital, it is we specialize in psychiatry, rehabilitation, and counseling. So thank you so much for hosting us again, once again.
You are welcome, Vincent.
Yes.
And I mean, it's an honor. It's always a pleasing pleasure to have you on the show. You spoke about your experience.
Yes.
And I feel for our viewers, they would want to know, do even doctors or medics go through depression? Is it only for the rest of the population? Share with us, if you don't mind, about your experience.
All right. Thank you so much. I think mental illnesses, to start from there, is not exceptional to any specific individuals. It is meant, or it affects all of us cutting across. Whether you are in any specific profession, a psychologist, a medic, a physician, an engineer, or a politician somewhere, or a mother, or a sister, or anything of that sort. So it cuts across and does not spare anyone at all. So as for me, maybe to share briefly about my experience with depression. At that time, actually, I didn't know that I was going through depression. But I remember this time when I was back in high school. I think we had moved from uptown, up country, to Nairobi. At that time, my Swahili was very, very poor. So I remember I had been, I'd gone to class, and now the teachers asked me to read some, I was in class 3, around class 1, class 3 there. So I've been asked to read some wordings on the board. But you know what? I couldn't read them. Or if I read them, there's a way I could read them, but they were not coming out as good, maybe as per the expectation of other students. From that experience, students started picking on me. I remember this one student some time back who, after every evening, he could literally beat me for no good reason. I don't know what made him irritated about me, or was it about my appearance, or was it about me being new in the school? I think it was a form of bullying, but at that time I didn't understand it was bullying at school. So it went on and on. And with time I started withdrawing. It became a severe issue. I couldn't speak to anyone. And whenever I could speak maybe to my mom, my dad at that time, they were saying maybe I'm having, I don't want to go to school, or maybe I'm coming up with unreasonable excuses to why I'm not going to school. And I think that issue went on for a very long time. I remember I could run away from school at some point. I even didn't want to go at school, or even I had to go to school. I had to to find a place to hide before I could go to school, or partially go to school. So because I know at evening hours, these students are going to pick on me. So I had to find ways of escaping this issue. And it went on for a very long time. And I think at some point it affected me, even on how I looked at the world, how I socialized with people, how I interacted with my peers. Because I remember I had almost 0 friends, and that is primary school. Imagining not having a friend at a primary level. It was very devastating and very sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I appreciate the way you present your story, because you are smiling, and that only shows that it's an encouragement, and I would love to hear how you overcame it, in the future.
Yes.
But the way you present it, I think it should give confidence to more people that there's hope, you can overcome it, and I believe that is why you are here today.
Yes.
And of course, to have now an experience from Madame Veronica, I know for you, you have had an experience with so many people all over the years. 20 years of experience, and being a mother yourself, I feel you could also break it down for us. How does depression present in young people? Is it different in children, teenagers, and then adults? How does it differ? Help us understand that.
Yeah, thank you, Enoch, very much. And because of asking that question, I believe that so many people would have asked, even if we go to the media, because we talked about science and depression in general.
Yeah.
But now we want to go specific about the young. And that's why we are here, so that they understand what is specific, and so that the parents also understand what is specific about the young and the teenage, because they have some issues that are affecting them that maybe they are not very common with the adults.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Daktari because of that experience.
Yeah.
It's a experience that most of the children, if you talk to them, they will tell you that they experienced that, and maybe the parents didn't even know. That's why the argument come: are they fueling, or do they understand? And maybe by the end of this session, they will have known, every parent will have known, who is listening to us will have known whether they are fueling or they understand their young and teenagers and children.
Yeah.
For me, what I want to be specific on about depression in young is when they become a victim of witnesses. They witness physical abuse, especially the teenagers. Let the parents not put it that they are not understanding what is happening because maybe they are hiding in the bedroom and they are fighting there, because most of the parents will justify it that way. When a young adult or a teenager who is growing become a victim of physical abuse, sexual abuse, and also issues to be with family, lack of communication, proper communication. Now they are grown up a bit. They know when there is poor communication in their family. That one affects them. Also, the things like obesity, something that impact on their self-esteem.
Obesity, you mean
yeah,
who are a bit bigger?
Like
or
obesity.
Overweight.
Overweight. Things like, they are fat-shamed. You not get married, you not get a boyfriend. Those things, they make them feel very depressed. Also, things like when they feel that their parents are not understanding them. They want to understand them from their level. Like me, maybe I want to understand my daughter from my level. And I don't want to hear what she is telling me. I don't want even to listen. I want to give her instructions and instructions. I have no room for her telling me, Mom, I feel like this. She will also become depressed because where does she take her issues? Things like the heartbreak. The other day we had someone who was saying, can you do me an ECG because I have heartbreak? Now, you see, this is somebody who doesn't have enough guidance because she thinks that she's feeling bad, and she's thinking that her heart is broken. But she doesn't know it is not physical heartbreak, it is inside. She just needs to build up some few social networks and with the parents. So to be specific on the young adults, let us try to check on what is affecting them, not what is affecting everybody across the board. That's what we want to understand today, that our young adults have fairly unique, specific things that displaces them.
Wow, and I like the way you present that information. I'm interested to also know more about how, you handle, do you have teenagers? Have you experienced?
I experienced teenagers, but she's past teenagers.
They are now grown up. Yes. They're now adults. Gen Zs?
Gen Z I have.
You have the Gen Zs. Do you know that I have a Gen Z here? Yeah, so those of you who are just joining us, the conversation just getting started. We're talking about depression in the young, and the argument is, are adults paying attention to the signs? Do they even know the signs? Or they're just fueling the struggle. So we have Lisa here. She's a Gen Z. She is a young person, and we want to hear her experience. Has she even been depressed before? Lisa, have you? Because last time we defined to you what depression is. So today we want to get the reality.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Enock, for giving me this opportunity to explain myself. I can say that, yes, I have been depressed once in my life. And it was back when I was in campus and I'd finally had the opportunity to go out and experience the world by myself without my parents looking over me. So I went, I explored, and now out there life happens to you, and now you just have to know how you're going to deal with all the experiences and things that you come across. So in campus, I had my first serious relationship and it ended. And the aftermath of the end of the relationship, I can say I was also suffering from severe heartbreak, and I can say it changed my life, because how I was before and after, I was not myself. Yeah, everything was different. How I was thinking was different. How I was feeling was different. So I didn't feel like myself during that whole period. And at the moment, I also didn't know that I was depressed. I just felt like I was very sad, and the sadness I don't understand. How will that sadness come to pass? Why is that sadness so much that I feel like I'm physically ill? Yeah, so yes, it's a tough experience when you really don't understand what is going on, when you don't have the tools to be able to deal with these heavy emotions that you're going through at the moment. But gratefully, I had wonderful friends who supported me and helped me regain back my joy for life, or wanting to live again. Yeah.
Wow. I think she has talked about a solution. Wonderful friends. And that is why you should be proud of Faith Day Television. We want to be your friends. And in case you have any question about this discussion today, we have that number on your screen. Share with us your experience. If you have any question whatsoever about depression, we are here with the experts and people with experience to help you navigate through this entire challenge. And we have Daktari here to help us understand, because, I mean, we get to hear that even young people have emotions.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Young people get to be depressed. I mean, what should parents look out for? How can you tell, like, my teenager, my child, my young person is really depressed? What are the signs? What should we look out for?
Well, thank you, Mr. Enock, once again. I think before we look at that great approach, I think it's important to help our listeners, the parents, and even the larger community understand why is it really important for us to talk about this issue out there in the community. Statistics is showing that 1 out of 7 globally, young people are affected by depression. You can imagine that globally 1 out of 7. So in every 7 people, young people, congregation, they are struggling with these symptoms of depression. Coming to Kenya here, Ministry of Health in conjunction with the World Health Organization, it says that at least or almost 9.8, that is almost 10% of the Kenyan population, which is the largest, a population of Kenya is made up of the young people, make the largest population in Kenya. And the Ministry of Health is telling us that at least 9.8 of these young people are struggling either with symptoms at a moderate or a severe case of depression. Africa-wise, a research that has been done by Africa Mental Health Research and Training Institution, it shows that at least 40% of young people in Kenya, they are struggling with depression. So we have around 50 million Kenyans, and we say that young people make the largest group of the population. So let's assume 30 million are young people. So 40% of the 30 million are struggling with either moderate or severe symptoms of depression. Having understood that for sure it is a serious issue, therefore what do we need to look into so that we can help now these young people and maybe seek early intervention before it gets worse or even becomes severe. One of the things that is very, very easy to note is the sleeping pattern of these young people. They might starting experiencing sleeping issues. They either sleep too much, or they lack sleep, or they're spending too much time on social media, scrolling from one social media to the next social media, and they don't seem to be exhausted at some point. Or sometimes they're exhausted, they're experiencing fatigue, such kind of things, and they are appetite sometimes can change. They don't want to eat. They don't want to engage in certain nutritional, value foods. They either selective of certain foods.
They eat junks.
Yes, junks. They don't want, when you tell them about other foods, they're like, no, I don't have the energy to eat such kind of foods or such kind of things. And then there are some of the young people might experience consistent, persistent sadness, as Lisa has already given us an example, that you don't understand. And emotions that parents sometimes seems like they term it as laziness. They are not willing to engage in activities. This child is no longer, is very arrogant nowadays, is very rude, and such kind of things. Some of those symptoms, among many others, they indicate that these young people could be experiencing an issue, and it is high time we as the guardians, we as the community, we come into understanding, giving an ear to these people, listen to them. And remember, the generation is changing. There's a lot of technological changes, advancements. So it means even the kind of exposure they are exposed to, the information, there is a lot of flow of information that is too much, maybe too much, and they are not able to handle. Who do they talk to? Where do they go to? So let's be careful, let's be listening, let's give a listening ear and create a safe space that these young people can come to us and talk to us about these issues, especially relationships. Yes.
Yeah. And speaking about relationships, I feel Madam Veronica can help us understand why are young people not opening up to the adults. What do you think could be the reason why you said parents are fueling the depression? Yeah.
Thank you, Enock. Dr. Thank you. I have learned something from you, that the statistics. But I would also want you to talk about the rate of, because suicidal in young adults is very quick, not like adults. It is very quick in teenagers and adults. I would also like you to give us some statistics on the suicidal, so that the parents can also have a picture of the suicidal statistics in Kenya, so that they can see why this must be talked about. Yes.
And I think, of course, like he highlighted last time, it's really serious, Mama. It's really serious because the third leading cause of death in Kenya is suicide. Among the young people. Yeah.
Teenagers, we have the Gen Z here. I was listening to her and she was talking about friends. And I would like parents to ask themselves, why wouldn't my daughter come and tell me I have heartbreak? Why? Because she didn't say she told the parents, she just talked about the friends. Why? Parents should create a forum or an environment where they can come and freely tell you. You tell your daughter you have reached the age of getting maybe to relationships and to relate with other people. And you also talk about health relationships, so that now the girl can tell you, Mom, I had a heartbreak, or Dad, I had a heartbreak. How many people would tell their dad, I'm going to see my boyfriend? How many young adults would tell? I think there are few. Why? Because as parents, we have created an environment at home that is wrong, which is not wrong, because you also expect that in our culture, we tell them we want to burn the resource, so that as we are given sodas and some money, because our Lisu got married when we were got burnt when we were waiting for the dowry to be brought. Where do you expect that dowry to come from? If you didn't train them health relationships and how heartbreaks can come, because you can have one relationship at the end and you get to another one. How, as parent, me and any other parent outside there should learn how to create an environment of showing our teenagers, our young, to share with us everything that they are going through. Also, when they leave high school, it's a transition from high school to university. We give them the education. Now you are leaving your teacher. You are becoming now a public person, a public figure. If you make a mistake, you'll not be taken to your teacher. You'll be taken to the chief and the police. Do we train them that now you are becoming an adult? that now you have to take that one, means that they have to be responsible and accountable for their life. Because now they're in the university, they have to be on their own. The parents will not follow them there, nobody. So you take them accountability and responsibility. How do they become responsible? How do they face another life? How do they face this transition?
Wow.
Let the parent have a forum where they discuss, not the WhatsApp group where you post, I am going out. And because everybody now has seen that I'm going out, I'm leaving the house. Let them have time to discuss the issues. You can even ask them, how do you feel about boyfriend and girlfriend?
But do really parents have this time? You know, there's this perspective of parents nowadays saying that we are creating wealth, we are creating, generational wealth.
We are pursuing the bag.
We are pursuing the bag. So what time do they really? What time do they have to create this space?
We are pursuing the bag, but we are creating a high tendency of suicide in our children.
Yeah.
What about that? You create for them wealth and they kill themselves tomorrow.
So where does the wealth goes to?
And I like the
we
argument.
need to balance that.
I like the argument on the right side, as if we don't have someone to answer that on the left side. So do you want to hear now from the left side?
I want to hear.
Sure.
I mean, those of you are just joining us, this conversation is getting better and better, and we have Lisa here, a Gen Z. You'd want to hear her side of the story, her experience. Lisa, why is there this hesitancy among young people to open up to parents? We hear from Madame Veronica that, of course, we have opened up, we are ready, but why are you hesitant to approach?
Thank you so much, Mr. Enoch. I would say through my own experiences and through listening to my peers, I'd say that many adults are judgmental. And this judgment perspective, already it creates a wall between me and you as the person who's supposed to be listening. So I already know that you've already come to a conclusion before even we start the conversation. And the fact that there is that wall between us, it makes me hesitant. It makes me not see you as a safe space that I can talk to you about anything. And also, I'd like to say that many adults are also emotionally unavailable.
That word, emotionally
unavailable.
I mean, those of you who are just joining in, emotionally unavailable is a key word that we want to break down on the second part of our discussion, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I cannot get enough of her interesting content today, but we want to take a short break. And when we return, we're going to hear the emotional unavailability. We're going to talk about healing and much more. So I hope you sent in your question. Don't go anywhere. In just 1 minute, we'll be right back.
Every great journey begins with a single step. And at JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, that step is met with warmth, guidance, and possibility. Here, learning goes beyond the books. It is where future healthcare heroes are nurtured by passionate instructors who believe in their potential. From theory to practical, our healthcare assistant students gain real-world skills in a real healthcare setting, preparing to serve, support, and make a difference from day one. Because at JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, we don't just teach healthcare. We empower excellence. Admissions are now open for our May and June intakes. Step into your future today. Find us at Blessed House, 5th floor, opposite Garden City Mall. JCK Hospital College of Health Sciences, empowering excellent healthcare.
Faith Today TV is here to make your brand outstanding. Worry not on where to advertise your business or your product. Call us on 0114 777 000 or email us on info@faithtodaytv.co.ke.
Hello there, my name is Enock. Taking care of your health should be a top priority. Looking at the various engagements that we have today, it is so easy to forget about our health, mental well-being. That is why we introduce to you the Healthy You Talk Show, a brand new show that is going to address matters concerning your health, nutrition, stress management, mental health, name it. We bring to you a wide range of experts who are going to be touching pertinent issues concerning our health. Tune in every Tuesday at 10 a.m. live on Faith Today TV. All right, welcome back once again to our discussion today. We are talking about depression in the young people. The argument is, are adults paying attention to the signs, or they are simply fueling the struggle? And we have an interesting panel here. Facts are right here with us. We have statistics coming through, numbers, and then real life experiences. And before we took a break, we had a new word, emotional unavailability. And this is what is identified among the adults and parents. And we are getting it now from an expert here, Lisa. The story, facts, and great leads for us. Thank you so much. Lisa, carry on. You talked about emotional unavailability. What do you mean by that?
Thank you so much, Mr. Enock. When I'm talking about emotional unavailability, well, in my own terms of what I understand it to be, would be that a person is not fully equipped with those tools or guidelines that would help them process different types of emotions in healthy ways. So, as we were talking about my experience with depression and how Madam Vero has said that, why didn't I go to the adults and I relied on my friends instead to help me go through this tough situation? Well, I'd say that many adults that I know, or the many adults that are in my life, they are not really in tune with their emotions. I'd say they're not introspective. They don't really think about their thoughts. They don't really think about their emotions and how these thoughts and emotions affect them and the people around them. So, for example, in my case, if I would have gone and told my parents that I've gone to campus, I now have a boyfriend, and it's going this way and this way, they would be shocked and they wouldn't understand why I'm spending my time hanging out with this guy instead of going to school and getting this degree, and they've worked so hard and done all these things to be able to give me this opportunity to go. So they don't really see the value of social connections or the social part of life. They don't really understand that for a person to be really whole, they have different aspects of themselves that they need to build and to walk in togetherness with yourself. So, of course, I would feel like my parents or the adults in my life are not safe enough for me to come and speak to them about these sensitive topics, I'd say. So why not talk to someone who actually understands me, someone who will not judge me, who is my friend, who is going through the same thing as I'm going through. So there's this, how can I say it? It's better, or it's easy to open up to someone when you feel like, okay, I can tell this person anything and they won't look at me like this, or they won't feel like this about me, or they won't use it against me maybe another day in the future, you know. So it's easier to open up to someone who you think maybe through experience or due to lack of another better option, someone who would understand. Yeah.
And I like where you're coming from, because even me personally, I remember when I was growing up, I really... Why are you opening your ears so wide? It's a challenge because parents are so busy, and me coming from a background where they're ministers, you know, they're always, up and down, committed to the work of God, and then sometimes, you know, you don't get that chance to interact. And I feel you, because it is a challenge. I don't know what you have in mind, Daktari.
Something is going on in my mind. What of this boy child? How are boy child able to express these emotions? You know, there are these.
Do boy children have emotions?
Yes. Yes. Okay. But you know, there is a lot of culturalization and normalization that a boy child raised in any family should be strong. They should not express their emotions. They should not be, you know, share how they are feeling. So, what happens when they experience these difficult moments in their life? That's what I'm thinking through.
I met this boy who had transferred from a national school, and the parents could not take him to another lower school. So after his high school, he did not perform so well. And the parents were like, I took you to a very expensive school. You refused to study. The parents did not want to know why. You refused to study in a national school. I could not take you to a lower school. Now I took you to a very expensive school and you did not do well. And the boy was so depressed. We had to go through a counselor to help the boy come back to his self-esteem, because he felt he didn't achieve. But of course the boy had performed well. He was going to the university. But he didn't achieve the grades the parent wanted, and so the parent did not understand. And now they put this boy into a depressive mood, to that sadness.
And I like it ma'am, when you bring out the real background. Is this as if this parent was concerned about the money than really paying attention to this?
What is going on?
And the grades he wanted the boy to get, what the boy could achieve.
So you agree that parents are not paying attention? They're just paying attention to their money.
Their money, their wealth. We should at least reduce
Should you reduce, or you should, you know? The discussion is right here with us, and we are getting quality information from Madame Veronica here and the panelists. And today we have so many questions streaming in.
Okay.
And I pray that we give justice to them. I think we will not take a long time answering, because there are so many. I'll begin with number one. I hope you sent in your question along with where you are watching from. Very, very important for us. Emmanuel says, good morning. As a young person, how do you balance the pressure of societal expectations while dealing with mental or physical health issues?
How do you balance?
Yes.
Societal expectations
while dealing with mental or physical health issues?
That's a very good question, Emmanuel. And I hope you are not struggling. And if you are struggling, I want you to know that we care and there is hope. And there are people who loves you out there. Maybe how do you balance in such a case? I think the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what is this condition that you're going through? What kind of mental illness that you are going through? And to what extent this is societal expectation, will it help you? Because will this societal expectation help you in any way? Because certain pressures are put on us, not necessarily they are of essence. Not necessarily they are of help to us, but it is a normalization, a culturalization that for a boy child by the age of 25, you will be having a wife, you should be having a car, a house, and all those kind of things. The question is, what happens if you don't have them? You know, in such a case, I think the important thing first is to prioritize yourself. Get to learn what is necessary, what do you need, and get to understand where you are at in your life. What are you able to do at that particular, and take it slow, you know, step by step, and believing in yourself that anything that you need to achieve sometimes takes time. It's a process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Emmanuel, there's a process to everything. Do not live based on societal expectations. Catalina here, question to the Gen Z. Okay. What advice would you give to your peers who feel misunderstood by older generations about their struggles with mental health?
Okay. What advice we like to give? I think that question was very direct. It is asking our Gen Z what will Lisa like to advise to the other young people, maybe who are going through the experiences. Maybe she can tell us from her personal experiences or advice.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathleen, yes, for posting this question. What I would say or share is that just find someone who you're on the same page with, someone that you trust, someone you can talk to. It just could be one person or two people, or it doesn't have to be a huge group of people, but just find someone that you can be able to talk to, someone you trust, someone who can also share and be vulnerable with you. So it can be an exchange, so that you don't feel like you're having a therapy session with someone, but just find someone who you trust, who can listen, and who you know, and that will be helpful.
Yeah,
and maybe to add on what Lisa is trying to say.
And also, we would want to hear, because they're running away from you.
Yes.
They're running away from you. What do you have to say about that? They would rather talk to, their same peers.
I would encourage them to engage in positive things that are impacting on their life positively, not negatively. Because most of them, when they run away from us, they go to the social clubs and what. Those are not things that impact on them.
And even seeking social media.
So they should engage in things like self-care, social groups like church, organization, activities that are impacting their lives positively, not negatively.
Okay. You are adding something.
Yes, I was saying that was it Catherine?
Yes.
Yes, I would like also to inform Catherine that life is not a race. You are not competing against anyone. This is your own life, and you need to find your own pace. You need to move at your own pace. And the only way you can be able to do that is being able to identify who you are. Where am I? What are my goals? What are my values? What are my aspirations? My principles. Let them be part of your guiding or the guidelines that will help you find your own grounds. Because if you do good or bad, people will always find something to say. So the important thing, I think, first is to create awareness about yourself, being able to know who you are, and then create your own principles, go by your own values, and be firm and assertive, creating boundaries along the way as you move with this fast-moving generation.
Yeah, and I like when you emphasize self-awareness, and I think that is part of emotional intelligence that not so many people are paying attention to, but it can make a lot of so much difference.
Yes.
Because when you also tie it to what the Gen Z Lisa is saying, people are emotionally unavailable. So I think we need that training. Madame Vero, you will agree that we need to have people who can talk about these things, so that the young people can open up to even meet us and share their experience. Are you learning something today?
Yes, very much.
I'm also enjoying the conversation. We have Timothy from Kasarani says, watching the show as a young person on social media. Wow, Timothy, thank you so much. And I hope that you've shared this with your friends and loved ones. okay, this person is saying he's appreciating us. At least we get someone to appreciate them.
Thank you.
All right, so enjoying the show. Asante sana for this episode. That is Timothy. Thank you. We have someone who didn't specify, but we will take the question.
Okay.
Are there any small daily habits that can help improve mental health while dealing with chronic pain, please?
Yes, there are. There is a technique usually that is highly appreciated or acknowledged by several scientists and also practitioners in the field. We call it mindfulness. You know, the art of you trying to be present in the present moment, because the past is there. You have done maybe mistakes, things have already happened, and maybe you went wrong somewhere. But still, there is a future that you are hoping that it will be better, or there is a certain aspiration that you are looking forward to. So, but before that, all those things happens. The question is, are you able to relate with yourself in the present moment? So that aspect of you being able to relate within your present moment, whether you are struggling with any issues, whether you are happy, sad, and being able to connect with yourself is very, very okay. And that is an habit that one can practice day in, day out, accompanied with things like meditation.
Yeah.
And meditation doesn't have to necessarily take a formal approach. You know, like you have to sit down, be standing. Sometimes it just needs a point of view, being able to reflect on yourself, being able to identify areas of improvement, areas of weakness, and being able to, what are the threats and opportunities within myself, and what do I need to do so that I can navigate some of these challenges within such an environment.
Yeah.
Journaling goes a long way.
Okay.
Being able to relieve yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when you write down, it's like you are letting go of certain things.
Yeah.
But I can't forget the aspect of self-affirmations. Self-affirmations are very, very important. It is one way of self-care. It's one way of appreciating yourself and acknowledging that as much as the world is moving very fast, I have not achieved whatever I wanted to achieve. I'm still here. I'm able to continue to improve on myself.
Yeah.
You know, you affirm yourself, you love yourself, you stay positive about yourself, avoiding negative company, avoiding taking, maladaptive approaches, such as drug use, associating yourself with gangsters outside there. You know, even avoiding gangsters is an habit that you have to continuously engage in, and reducing even social media consumption.
Yeah.
You know, there is a lot of stimuli from the social media, and this social media is occupying much of us. We are not able even to relate with ourselves.
Yeah.
So those habits of, being able to regulate how much you are consuming from social media goes a long way in helping you navigate yourself and
I
find
think,
a better way.
Enock, I don't want to leave this
it's okay.
without confirming that self-affirmation is very key on our teenagers, because they start now renewing their self-esteem. When you start congratulating yourself, yes, I did this, you now start making your self-esteem come back.
Yeah.
And we said one of their major issues that brings for them depression is anything impacting on their self-esteem, because they are growing and they are becoming adults.
Yeah.
And they want to show that I am a person, I have my self-esteem, I'm able to do. So when you start self-affirmation, you become more strong, and you're able to, your depression now goes down.
Yeah.
And what Dr. is talking about, this last thing you have talked about.
Journaling. Did you say about journaling?
The social media.
Yeah.
It cuts across the board. Not only with teenagers and with young adults. Go to the houses nowadays. You meet the father there with his phone. You meet the young child who is coming up with his or laptop. You meet the teenager there. They are all in the sitting room, but nobody is talking to the other one.
Yeah.
That one should cut across the board. But we minimize our life on the social media. It is also bringing some depression. And we are also training the young ones to come up with the same habits.
Yeah. And I think
change some of these our habits.
I think you've talked about something very key. We need to get a broad discussion on social media, because it is a challenge.
Yes.
And I think I feel you are so strong with spirituality. You should also take this question. It's coming in from someone in Lumumba Drive. He's saying, "Hi Enock, what roles does spirituality or faith play in coping with these struggles?" This is Mary, Lumumba Drive. What role does spirituality or faith play in coping with these struggles?
Yes, thank you so much, Mary, and also Enock. We talked about the role of the church in the last our discussion, and we said that the church has a very big role to play in prevention. Now, when it comes to religious matter, Enock, before I come to my friend, I have already visited my religious person. I have already, and sometimes one of the person that we feel very close, even before I tell my partner something, is the religious person. But what is happening nowadays, our agencies, because maybe the father is a pastor, they have failed to realize the need of the church, and now he sees the father at home, how they behave. So, religious, we should train our children on prayers. Be praying that it is not, you don't go to that church to please your mother or your parent. You go for yourself. Believing in that supernatural power, that when I believe in it and I go for guidance, one of the key role in treating depression is that an adult, a senior person, an adult should also be informed, because you cannot help yourselves. Self-awareness, you don't create self-awareness to yourself. Somebody must create self-awareness so that you know.
I agree with
Somebody else must create that. I'm creating self-awareness, even in the religious. We need to create self-awareness to our children. So our religious people should be very understanding. And our Gen Zs and teenagers should understand that when I go to the church, I'm gaining something.
When you are going to the church, you are gaining something. I think it's a campaign that we've been really running. People are talking young people out of church, and then they don't know that they're predisposing them to a lot of depressive, things out there. But you don't have to run away. Like we're hearing it from Madame Veronica. And I appreciate the way you present the information. It is coming from the heart. And for the young people, I hope you are taking this serious. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I feel this one is directed to Lisa. Someone is asking you, coming from a background of digital mastery and a freelancer, someone is asking, I'm watching on Facebook. This is Irene.
Yeah.
How do you manage comparison with peers who seem to have perfect lives online?
Oh, Lord. Good. Thank you so much, Irene. Well, in this time that we're living now, I feel like we should realize that social media, yes, it's there for entertainment, but it's also someone's business. And not many creators are showing us what their real life actually looks like. All these moments and all these videos, they've been curated to bring forth a certain message, a certain look, a certain aesthetic. And for anyone who is alive, they know that real life is, every single day is not the same, and every day is not perfect. And even if you'd have a perfect day, some moments in the days, in that day, are the perfect ones. It's not the whole day from when you wake up to when you go to bed. So I'd just say it's realizing your own self-worth, because yes, when you're scrolling through social media, you compare yourself with all these things. You start asking yourself questions. Why don't I look like this? Why am I not in the same level as someone I used to know, or this person who is the same age as me, and they're doing all these wonderful things, and I don't feel like I'm doing the same wonderful things as this person is doing. So you'll just have, I realize, or what I tell myself is that, just as Dr. Vincent has said, we are all on our own individual journey. And yes, these people, we should look at them and have their stories inspire us, instead of having their stories make us feel bad about ourselves. So we should work on our self-esteem and our own self-worth, to know that despite all these things, your life still matters. There's still something to be happy about, something to be proud about in yourself. And my life and your life can't be the same ever. So I don't think that there's a need for us to chase that comparison and perfection to be the same as this other person. And it's a race that we can never be able to win or finish. So just work on that self-love, work on that self-awareness, knowing yourself that, yes, I'm me, I'm Lisa, these are the things that I'm good at, these are the things that I'm not good at, but I can be able to improve. And despite it all, because not all of us can be famous, not all of us can be rich, not all of us can be good looking, not all of us can be the definition or the poster picture for perfection.
You use the word poster picture for perfection. I love that coming from a Gen Z. And I mean, whatever she's talking about is what has worked for her.
For me.
I mean, and we appreciate that background. I know we can have you for a next session alone. You know, these Gen Zs have the information, but today we cannot. I feel we need another session. You agree?
I totally agree.
You agree?
I feel like there's so much that we can explore into.
And of course, Daktari.
Yes.
In just 30 seconds, give us your parting shots.
My parting shot for now.
Yeah.
Maybe I can tell my listeners, our listeners, thank you so much for listening and for tuning in this evening. And I would like to say that for the guardians, for the community, let's create safe spaces for our young people. Let's try to be emotionally available. If you didn't receive the emotional availability from your guardians, from your loved ones, or anyone within that base, and you have a young one within your environment, let's try to be emotionally available. Let's attune ourselves to their needs, their wants, understand them, be more empathetic. And maybe to the institutions, it is high time we start recognizing that mental health is a serious issue and we need to incorporate it in our daily routine. And for the young people, finally, self-care. Please make sure that you are doing a good self-care for yourself. And self-care, it means you are engaging in continuous, healthy and adaptive ways of dealing with life struggles, because stress will always be there.
Wow. Thank you so much. Your parting shot, Mama.
Thank you, Enock. Families, try to be there for each other. We can have, like, I'm not talking of the young ones or what, like a basket in a home whereby everybody, the evening when they come from their daily activities, they just put their phone there and forget. I don't know whether that can be very practical at home. That you come, you put your phone there, and now we sit down and we talk about our day, how it was. It will now start reducing our depression slowly, because when families are talking, you hear your dad say something, you hear your mom talk about something, you feel that these people are concerned. But when we come from work and we just put our phones on and we start another day, another job, we start another day, we have no time. The young one will keep on calling daddy, mommy, and they are not getting your attention. To the young people, I repeat what Dr. has said, self-affirmation and self-care. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Do the things that are healthy, that impact on your life positively. Don't do the negatives.
Thank you so much. And our panelists, thank you so much for giving us this wonderful information. And of course, for the young people out there and adults, I mean, the guardians, the mentors, and the parents, depression is not a rebellion. It's not a weakness. It's a cry for help. Until we meet next time, this has been the Healthy You program. My name is Enock Kitondekijja. God bless you.
At JCK Hospital, we understand that a child's smile is priceless. That's why our dental services are tailored with care and compassion to ensure your little ones have the best experience possible. From gentle checkups to specialized treatments, our pediatric dental experts create a safe and friendly environment, making every visit fun and stress-free. Because we believe healthy habits start young. And for the grown-ups, we've got you covered too, with top-notch dental care for the whole family. Visit JCK Hospital today, located in Roysambu, opposite Park University on Lumumba Drive, and experience dental care that's gentle, professional, and family-friendly. JCK Hospital, you first.